This will be the last question for you, and then you guys will all have 2 minutes after this round to do your closing statement. So, other than the economy, jobs, and public safety, what do you see as the next greatest priorities for Mason County, and how would you address them?
Well, here's one of the things that I think is a great priority is the budget. The budget's the biggest job the commissioners have. And I hear a lot about people, and I heard of this today, property taxes are being overassessed by the assessor. And I think that even though we can't get rid of a property tax and you can't do much about it, but the best thing that you could do is lower the amount of money you spend in the budget. That way they're not searching for as much revenues. What we got to remember is that everything that government does is based off of the fact that they need money and they need your money to do stuff. And that's called central planning, and it doesn't work. We got to all realize this, that central planning has failed. It failed in Soviet Russia, it fails here locally, and it fails for the federal government, and we got to stop doing that kind of stuff. Thank you.
Other than the economy, jobs, and public safety, what do you see as the next greatest priorities for Mason County, and how would you address them?
Well, I think that an important priority is one I mentioned earlier. I don't think that this county, people in this county, have a shared idea of what we want the future to be. I think that we need to put together a partnership of county agencies, nonprofit organizations, of which there are many out there who are trying to do a good job, senior citizens, chambers of commerce, and put together a partnership for progress in this county that's based on a vision of where we want to go forward. We can't continue to deal with issues piecemeal when they crop up. We need to be on the solution side of problems and have a vision that guides us into the future.
So it was aside from public safety and aside from jobs? Lawsuits. An open government enough to where we won't keep getting sued for everything that we're doing out there and have to keep paying out all that money. How much of this money should have been used for the sheriff's deputies, but for the law enforcement? We're helping to create some of the jobs. We're keeping some of the staff that we used to have. Remember, not everything in county is bad, regardless of what we might say or think sometimes. Some of those departments actually are revenue generators, and the planning commission and stuff like the planning sector and stuff, that's a revenue generator. But we have to have open government that is responsive to the point where we won't have to keep getting sued and found guilty all the time and keep paying out. We can do some of that by having a citizens advisory committee that will actually hold county employees, county people, including ourselves, accountable to the public.
Well, I think that all the divisions in Mason County, whether it be the roads, utilities, water, sewer, whatever it is, I think that every division needs to be looked at. I think we need to fine-tune what we have. I think we need the whole division work as a team to make this thing happen. I also think that the county can do a little bit better job with working with not only with inside itself, but also working with the community, as the public, the businesses, the state, the city, and other divisions that all affect what we do. Thank you.
When I was in the restroom, I remarked, we ought to do this every 2 weeks all year long. Really, there's a lot of good ideas floating around here. I think our biggest priority, other than the aforementioned, is we need a common vision. We need to get all of our groups together and work towards the same goals. So we need to develop our relationships with our partners, have more dialogue, and get a common vision going.
Well, a couple of priorities. One's the budget. We have to keep a careful eye on it. And since I left office, the budget's also grown. But something else, we're in a unique situation here. You've got to take a look at all 12 of us here. what three are really going to work together for everyone? There could be debates or whatever, but the common interest is for everyone. And that's my priority. I'm willing to work and make Mason County grow.
Wow, all kinds of them. Retail development. I am tired of driving 30 miles to buy my shoes and giving them my $2.15 of my sales tax money to them to pay for their crops. We need to do a market analysis, identify our gaps, and proactively recruit and bring them here. We need to do some more coordinated linking together our infrastructure projects so that when I'm tearing up a road over here, it's going to be at the same time that you're tearing up your part of the sidewalk over there, so that we are sharing costs and we're linking them together so that they make sense. We need better communication with you, the voters. How much does it cost to run county government? How much does it take in? And what are the priorities? You need better information so that you can come tell the commission, this is my priority for those tax revenues. I'm going to write those press releases and send them to the paper and get them in there. Finally, the budget, priorities of government budgeting. So we will go ahead and say, this is what county government does, this is what it costs according to those department heads, what are the essentials? And let you know what that is and let you inform us.
All these are great issues, but I'm going to speak to one that comes from my heart, and that's our youth here in Mason County. There's absolutely nothing for our youth to do. I've rang Salvation Army bell for 4 years in a row down at Safeway. I've seen the same youth there year after year. They're hanging out, doing nothing but hanging out. And I asked them, I know them all by name. I said, well, why aren't you doing something else? And it's because there's nothing else to do in this county. They're our future. They're our grandchildren, our children growing up. They're going to be our leaders. If we don't provide more alternatives for them to do, we're going to continue to lose them. We've lost an entire generation. We're going to lose another generation unless we get out there and work as a community, partnership together, and get some activities, positive activities for our youth. I mean, I'd hate to see it if it continues like this. So that's what we got to do.
I think the first part of it starts with the citizens, and what I mean by that is I think you've got a choice to make, and I think it's a critical choice, and I think you need to make sure that you elect the right individuals into office. That's where it starts, and I said elect, not re-elect, obviously, too. I think that you know, we've all been at board meetings, many of us have. We've seen a continuation of bad behavior and poor customer service and lack of attendance, and you know, this can't go on. If you're going to commit to a job like this, you need to commit to it 100%, both feet in and go for it. I'm ready to go to work, and I don't mean to disagree with Randy, but I think there's lots for our youth to do. I've got 2 boys, they're very involved. If you were to come into one of their bedrooms, you'd see so many different functions they've been into, and we've got some of the greatest teachers and coaches and just things for these kids to do, but it takes parental involvement. You've got to get in there with them too. Don't let go of your kids. I mean, they're the future.
Well, I will agree with Randy. That's one area we do agree on, and that is our youth and our senior citizens. I don't think we have enough for our kids to do. I'm on the school board, and we work very hard at bringing things to them, but our numbers are down, so our funding is going to be down for this next year. So we'll be losing our music program, and that's the sad thing. But anyway, another big item, I think, all these people who are moving this direction are going to be old like me, and so we need to be doing something about that. We should be working with the senior services both in Belfair and here in Shelton to figure out what it is that we do need to do. Government has a function, and I think we need to provide those services that people will need. Instead of us coming up with the ideas, we need to find out what they think.
Could you repeat the question?
The question is, other than the economy, jobs, and public safety, what do you see as the next greatest priorities for Mason County, and how would you address them?
Well, there's a lot of priorities that people don't talk about that the county commissioners deal with. The county commissioners are also members of the Mason Transit Authority, and I think we have an excellent transit system here in Mason County. We have to keep it going that way. We're doing a good job with it. The Mason County commissioners also serve as the Mason County Board of Health. We have a partnership with especially Mason General Hospital and the healthcare providers here in Mason County, and that's very important. We have to do all we can to protect protect the citizens. There's a lot of epidemic issues that have come up in other counties. We have a fantastic system of parks. If you go out to the new Pickering boat ramp or the new boat ramp at Mason Lake, you'll find some excellent facilities, parks and recreation that we have. And you know, we have a new public works building. It's state of the art, and we also have new bridges in Tahuya, Weaver Creek, Finch Creek, Bear Creek, Dewattle. Those things take a lot of cooperation and working together to get done, and I think we've accomplished a lot in the last few years. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll go ahead and have you guys